Hey everybody, Fishman here. Welcome to another video. Well, it's finally time. It's been almost 3 years now since I built this. This is my first ever high humidity planter filter, and I built it as a test filter. I wanted to check out all the different aspects of filtration with it, how well it grows plants, how well the fish do, its effect on water chemistry, all those sorts of things. And, well, as you know, in the interim, I have built quite a few different variations of this, and I really like these filters. They're probably one of my favorite builds. This particular one, though, has a couple of things about it that I'm not terribly fond of. Like I said, it was built as a test, so I built it quite large, which means it's very difficult to get in there and work on, which means I haven't pruned this in a long time. You can see the buildup of algae and plants against the sides, and as this video progresses, you're going to see how difficult this is. It's too much work to get in here. And the other thing is, it's also difficult to get into the tank itself and catch fish out and move things around and do stuff like that. And one of the things I found out in the last few years building more of these is it doesn't need to be anywhere near this big. It doesn't have to be this size. It can be considerably smaller. So what I want to do here is take this apart. I want to get all the plants out, and you can see there's quite a few of them, and they're doing very well. Again, the problem with that is, of course, there's nowhere near enough room for the fish. So I want to get that down into a reasonable amount. And this whole row here, besides the one up at the top there, up in the upper right-hand corner, you see that is my new version of the leak-proof canister filter. And that's running one of these tanks. The rest of them are all undergravel filters to high humidity planters. And I want to change up one of them, and that's probably going to be this one here. I'm going to run one of the new box filters on this, and I want to have it run up to a high humidity planter, and I want to see how that's going to run. I want to see how that works relative to how well this one's done over the 3 years. One of the things I noticed about this particular one, and I want to check that out as well, that is Subwassertang there, and I noticed the leaves on this particular plant in this tank are much larger. I mean, actually quite noticeably so. I'm going to try and get a clip of that for you for Sunday's vlog, just to show you the difference. And just have a look at all the plants I pull out of here. They're in wonderful shape, and like I said, I couldn't be more happy with this, other than the fact that, like I said, there's not enough room for everything in here. The tank's only 15 gallons, and you can see I'm pulling out, massive amounts of plants, and that's only the stuff that's under the water. Wait until I take out the actual tray that's on top of this, and you're going to see just how much plant matter there is in this tank. The upside, of course, is I don't do water changes on it. It doesn't need them. I do a little bit every now and then, simply because it is very easy to do a water change, and I like to do small water changes, as you saw in a recent video I had. Just because it does stimulate the fish. They are adapted to having that sort of thing happen in their environment. So, anyway, I am going to clean this all out completely. And like I said, it's going to be one of the new box filters that's going to go on here. And I am going to probably use the high humidity planter from the tank to the right on this. Because, well, first off, that tank needs to cure for about another week before I put water in it. And secondly, I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do with that tank. I might do something different. So as you see, I can pull this forward, and now I'm going to slide the top part all the way to the back and get this all apart. This is just massively big here. It's just crazy. The other things I tested out with this particular build is acrylic hinges, which worked very well, by the way. But the other thing I tried out was I put on a little neodymium magnet as a latch, and I think it lasted about maybe a month or two before it actually corroded, believe it or not, and I had that sealed in with a little bit of silicone as well. So they don't like the humidity that much. So here you go, I'm pulling it all out. And also you can see that is one of the old style underground filters I had, which had the screen in it too. So anyway, like I said, it's a good filter. Just, as you can see here, it's just impossible to get in there and do a small amount of maintenance. This sort of thing, of course, it doesn't really matter, just tearing the whole thing apart. But just to go in and do regular amounts of maintenance, do a bit of pruning. It was just too awkward to do, and therefore I didn't do it. Anyway, it was like I said, an experiment, and I tested it out. I'm doing an awful lot now with the smaller ones, and I find that they're much simpler to pull apart. I think I've done a few cleaning videos on those already, and because it's so much simpler to do, and of course I've also changed how I do those as well, how I put them together, and just fiddling with them, doing maintenance, seeing what improvements I can make, and that sort of stuff. The smaller ones I will actually work on, whereas this one, like I said, just got out of hand. Fortunately, it was the kind of thing that didn't really require much maintenance, so it took almost a year of not really doing anything to it at all for it to get that overgrown. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to empty the rest of this water out, net out the last little bit. Oh, here's a gravel filter. And again, these filters are really good. I know there's an awful lot of debate on the internet at the moment as to what's the best way to have, denitrification on your aquariums. I know there's I saw a couple of videos about that recently, and this is my favorite way. I know there are others, but this is something that doesn't really require a whole lot of effort when it's done properly. I mean, it's like I said, this filter is a little bit too big for that sort of thing, but all the other ones, as you can see from my videos, they don't require that much effort at all. So I'm going to drain this down to probably about 1.5 inches, and then I'm going to fill it up. I'm going to leave a bunch of the old water in here as well, because there's really nothing really wrong with it. And also because I want this to be up and running fairly quickly, because I'll probably have plants and a few other things in here for you for Sunday. I'm going to use the gravel from the undergravel filter and also some of the lava rock from the upper part with the high humidity planter. I need to get this tank up and running quickly because all these plants are going into the pond, and it's just getting so stupid crowded in there because I now have 2 tanks that were running a great deal of plants, and all those plants were dumped in there, and I got to get that out of there. It's just too much, and I want to leave room for those guppies to grow. So I'm going to pull out as much as I can. Some of it is usable, some of it isn't. The pearl weed I was going to throw. Some of the Java fern near the middle I'm also going to get rid of, but you can see in the back there's lots of good Java fern there, and up in the front, of course. And also there's about 3 really nice Anubias plants in here. You can see one in the front. I'm going to also pull those out and get them wired up and put in aquariums. I'm not going to show you all this. It took about 10-15 minutes to get all this out of here. Like I said, that's an impressive amount of plant growth, and that is the reason why that aquarium has been so clean and so easy to maintain for the last 3 years. It's like I said, it's just been great, except for the fact that, again, that it's very difficult to get in there and do what I need to do. So that's pretty much it. Hope you enjoyed this. I am going to get that tank running, I said, and I'm going to show you its update for on Sunday, and a couple other things as well. Like I said, I got a lot of stuff running here. As you'll notice, my vlogs are now into the 90s, and I do want to hopefully have my fish room ready for a full tour for video 100. So that's coming out relatively soon, so I do need to get a lot of work done in the fish room and get everything ready for that. There you go, really, that's a nice Anubias plant. So, as always, leave comments, let me know what you think of all this, and thank you very much for watching. Oh, one other thing I want to mention, I have an apology actually I need to make to you guys, and that is I am going to be delayed getting that back flush filter for you. I wanted to get it ready for, well, relatively soon, but I've been working actually on one for a client, and the problem with all the ones I've seen so far and how I know how they work is they do require a pump, and I do want to try and put together an air run one, so that's going to take a little bit more thought. So hopefully I'll get to that, but for the moment it is on the back burner. So again, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video, and bye for now.